My red flag is that I have a lot of self-hatred. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with a video called Red Flags featuring Montaigne from the channel Tom Cardy. This is a donation reward as usual for Venom. And yeah, this is just like a really short video, less than 3 minutes long. And the reason why we're doing this alone and everything is just because with the coughing I've had going on and everything, I just want to I don't want to do as much today as I guess I normally would. Just a little bit less than normal. Plus, I just wanted today to kind of be a little more casual, I guess you could say, than it's been generally. Just stuff like that. Plus, I didn't know what else I would pair this with, if I'm being honest. Because I don't know anything about this, and this, unlike some stuff, doesn't seem to be related to a fandom in any way that I can tell. The interesting thing is it was hell trying to get this, working. I downloaded the file. It would not open on VLC, and I have no idea why. I tried opening it by double-clicking it in the folder. I tried going to the, I tried opening VLC on its own and then choosing to open the file from there. Other files were working. This would not. I don't know why. It wouldn't open and it just froze VLC every time. Like VLC wouldn't allow me to do anything else after that point, so I had to close it and open it back up. And so I re-downloaded it with a different downloader and works fine now. So I have no fucking clue what happened there. Maybe something went wrong when it was downloading. I don't know. But yeah, so red flags. A red flag is usually in reference to something not necessarily straight up bad about a person, but something that hints at worse things. A red flag is something that it's like, oh, this is like a danger warning. It's not the danger itself, it's the danger warning. It means like, oh, if a person is like this or into this or etc., it might be signs of further problems. Or at the very least, signs that they're just not for you. Red flags don't have to be necessarily something outright terrible. It can just be something that would be wrong for you personally. I made the joke in the cold open that my red flag is that I have a lot of self-hatred and everything, which, by the way, is unfortunately very true. I am not the best in terms of my mental health, especially towards myself. But like a lot of like online stuff uses red flags in line with like people's tastes in like music or video games or TV and movies, etc. Like, there are people out there who would say, for example, being a fan of Terrifier would be a red flag because, you know, they would call it gore porn and everything. I like to use the term splatter film, personally, but I see where they're coming from. I understand that those kind of movies are not for everyone and why it would be a red flag for someone. For me, liking stuff like Kill la Kill can be a red flag. Because, for me, Kill la Kill, it has some really strong moral issues with it that I cannot get over. And I've talked about this in the past. I'm not going to get into this big discussion here, but this is just an example. There are some notable issues with that anime that I cannot get over. And it comes across as immoral to me. And so someone being like a really big fan of it can in some ways come across as a red flag to me. But there's obviously nuance with this. Red flags are often used as like by a lot of people online and stuff, especially as this kind of end all be all. It's like, oh, this person hits these red flags, they're terrible, I want nothing to do with them. And it's like, there's some nuance there, I feel. Like, a lot of people who like Kill la Kill like it for the animation or the cool battle sequences and stuff. And there's a lot of them I've even heard specifically call out some of the issues I have with it. And it's like, that's great. Like, you can like something for its art and animation and various things like that, but still call it out when it has problems. Hell, I call out One Piece when One Piece has issues, and One Piece is my favorite piece of media of all time, specifically the anime. But like whenever Sanji pretty much does anything gross, which is unfortunately way too often, I call that shit out. I think that's horribly disgusting and whatnot. By the way, Sanji stands red flag for me, but you get the gist. Red flags are a pretty nuanced concept that a lot of people take as being like too straightforward. And I feel like a lot of people, because of that, will label almost anything as a red flag without even thinking of like how it can like be taken in different ways and various things that go with it. I I tend to really think about certain things uh before I make like big decisions like that or whatnot. But there are some definite red flags for me. Um and it usually centers around like supporting provably immoral people and stuff like that, like Chris Brown or J.K. Rowling or Trump. You know, people who support people like that, huge red flag to me, obviously. But then it's like, I have like some silly red flags too, where it's like, oh, you're like overly obsessed with, I don't know, Arcane. It's like, bit of a red flag there. Of course, that's just more of a joke because it's like I'm fine with people being obsessed with Arcane. I'm obsessed with shows that other people don't like. It's fine, it's whatever. It's more of a joke red flag. But I'm also like, it's kind of more legitimate with when it's like overly obsessed, because when anybody's overly obsessed with anything, it gets kind of weird. And it's just like, okay, you're going a little far here. It's becoming a little much. Calm down, it's fiction. People who like take it way too far, it's like that's a bit of a red flag because that's a little bit of a creepy obsessive extreme, basically. But you get the gist and everything. um I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum unless their yum is immoral and wrong. If it's just a difference in opinion and taste, I have no issue with someone having a difference from me. I'm, in fact, supportive of people thinking different than me in regards to that stuff. I don't want people to have the exact same tastes as me because, one, that's boring. Two, that's just not human. As humans with free will, it's like no two people are exactly the same, and that includes in terms of tastes and interests. You can be pretty close, but you're not going to be exactly the same because it's literally impossible. That's not the human brain is way too varied for that. Um, but yeah, it's like I encourage you to form your own opinions, not just take my opinions as fact. Um, trying to like creepily match yourself to a YouTuber in general is also a red flag. If you're like that obsessed with a YouTuber to where you like try to say like, oh, I like every single thing you like and hate every single thing you hate. It's like, no, you don't. You're lying to yourself, for one. And for two, you're just being creepy. It's like, step back a little bit. Granted, thankfully, I don't think anyone has done that with me yet. But I've seen people do it with like big name like YouTubers like Markiplier, PewDiePie, and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, step back. You're being weird. Um, so yeah, there's a lot I could go into here, but I'm just kind of going around in circles at this point. Mostly just to fill out these pre-thoughts, because like I said, I have no idea what this is actually like about or anything. It's a very, very short video, so I guess we'll just get into it and find out. So let's check this out. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about the gaming stuff on the Princess of Gaming channel. We have Baldur's Gate 3 every single day, Horizon Forbidden West every Monday and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays is Life is Strange Double Exposure. Wednesdays and Sundays is Beyond Two Souls. And Saturdays we have Nier Automata. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get to today's video. I do redirect everything just due to copyright reasons. And please, subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to see more awesome content such as this. But thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Let's get to today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, that one portion that like begins with like, I tried blinging Morse code to get the waiter's attention, or whatever exactly the line is. And then going up to when like the waiter leaves and says bon appetit. It's like that entire section, again, has been all over like TikTok and social media. There's so many different versions with like different fandoms and whatnot, different little animations and art styles to it. Like I think I saw one that was the Looney Tunes show version of Lola Bunny with bugs, and it was actually really funny because if you've seen the little bunny from that show, she's a psychopath. She is horrifically like unlikably crazy, and it's like, oh my god, that is so fitting. But they've been like for every fandom pretty much. I think there was one with My Hero Academia with Himiko as the crazy date and everything. But I never knew where that soundbite came from. I just always saw the things on TikTok for it. It's one of those things, you know how TikTok goes, where it's like, oh, a soundbite gets really popular, you see it in all of these different videos, and then like a month later it's gone and you never hear it again. But this one's actually had some staying power. It's actually lasted quite a while, and every so often I see new ones pop up for it. But I never knew what it was from. I thought it was just like some dorky little thing, and I guess it kind of is. But it's like, I never really thought to look it up. It's not like there was another trend that was going around for a while on TikTok where it was like a nightcore version of that one song, the dance song from Wednesday. You know, the Addams Family type series Wednesday with Jenna Ortega. There's a song during a dance sequence in the series, and that song like got like this nightcore remix that became this big sound on TikTok for a while. But like even though that one lasted longer than normal, it still has not had the staying power of this. And it's just like, it's wild to like just kind of randomly find out where that came from. I don't know, Venom, if when you donated for this, if you chose this because you thought I might have heard that before and might have like wanted to show me like the full thing. I could believe it, but yeah, it's so wild. it's so crazy to like see that, because I'm watching this and it's like it's going along and I'm not putting it together like at all. Even though the voice, it's like looking back on it and thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, that's very clearly the same voice and everything. But it's like it's not clicking in my head until the part actually happens. The instant the part actually happens, it's just like it's like a cartoon. The light bulb went off in my head, and it just like my like senses lit up. Like I don't know. I never know exactly how I come off to you guys in reactions. So I don't know like what it was like for you guys like seeing my reaction here, because even if I watch myself back, it's like it's different for me than when you guys are interpreting how I'm reacting and stuff. But so I don't know like if it was very noticeable to you, but I got really fucking excited when that happened. Like like I just like I felt like I was glowing. And it's not necessarily that I really love that soundbite on TikTok and stuff. It's just because I wasn't expecting that at all. It caught me so off guard in the most fun way that it's just like it brought joy to me. It brought absolute joy to me to just out of nowhere find the source of this, or be, recommended the source of this as a donation reward. It was like the most unexpected, like just happiness. And considering I've been a little down in the dumps lately because of this damn sickness, that's actually very well received. I'm really happy about being given such a joyful, happy moment. Um, but let's actually talk about this. So, yeah, guy and girl out on a date and everything, and the girl ends up they're talking about things that they have in common and everything. Both being into cartoon dogs, for example. And then she reveals that like her favorite movie franchise of all time is The Human Centipede. And it's like, yeah, it's where he starts to have doubts and everything. He starts to second guess things. He finds her freaky and kind of, murdery. But then at the end, he kind of just goes along with it. And it's like, you know what? Whatever. Let our freak flag fly. Gosh, that's the tongue twister. Great alliteration, but tongue twister as hell. Freak flag fly. Um. So I have seen Human Centipede. I will probably never watch it again, but it's one of those movies that is made explicitly to be shocking. It's a movie that is intentionally made to shock people. Shock horror is a thing. It's absolutely a thing, and a lot of people try to interpret most movies as being like entirely serious and everything. It's like they'll go see a movie and it's like they'll critique it as if it were supposed to be taken like seriously as like a normal mainstream Oscar worthy film or something. Human Centipede is not like that. It's basically a satire. And a lot of people don't understand satire. And again, they often treat the movies as if they're supposed to be like serious films rather than comedic commentary on society, on other films, on people, on various things. Satire can basically be making fun of anything. And I would pretty much consider Human Centipede satire. It's so ridiculous, it's so over the top, it's so very blatantly, intentionally stupid in its concept, and so gross out and so like freakish that it's like that's the point. The kind of reaction that people have towards that is exactly what the kind of reaction you're supposed to have towards it. And that's why I believe it's the second one that is just straight up mocking the first. The second Human Centipede, it's like, oh, this story takes place in a world where the Human Centipede is an actual movie, and this guy tries to recreate it because he's a psychopath and a weirdo. It's like it's making fun of itself. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's not meant to be taken as like this artful horror film. No, it's stupid, shocking, creepy, weird ass tomfoolery. And that's the point. And it knows what it is. And I think that's great. I'm not like a big fan of it because it's personally a bit much for me. Um, I think Walrus is a better, or not Walrus, Tusk. I I always just say Walrus because it's like that's what he's turned into. No, it's Tusk. The movie is Tusk. I think Tusk is a better. Um, it is more of a more balanced. Let's put it that way. I couldn't think of how to describe it. I think it's more balanced, and I think is better at the satire and everything personally because, like I said, Human Centipede is a lot more like it goes a little far with it, but I still get the point. I still get the idea. That being said, if someone says Human Centipede is like their favorite film franchise of all time and is creepily obsessed with it, might be a little bit of a red flag, yeah. Um, she's like making those fold out paper cutout things with like napkins and stuff at the table. It's like, okay, that ma'am, chill the fuck out. It's like there's things that I am like obsessed with. I mean, I'm autistic. I have obsessions like that. I get very, very attached to certain things. It's something I can't really help. I do that, right? But even I'm not that bad. Like, even I understand it's fiction, and it's like, just don't do that. Um, but yeah, it's like, it's so wild to just, again, know the context for that soundbite now. And to like have like the full context behind it, it's like I don't. The funny thing is, it doesn't really need context to work because you get the gist of everything you need to know within that short section of the song. The rest of it, though, knowing the context makes it much funnier. It really does. The context actually does add to it. But like I said, it works without it anyway. The the visuals here are really expressive and fun as well. Let me bring this up again. I have it muted so you won't have to worry about copyright. But there's a lot of great expressions. The designs of the characters are really fun. Um, I like how the guy is like snooty looking as fuck. Um, and the girl like their designs are actually really fitting for their roles in this. The girl has like the piercings and everything. Very pretty dress, very well kept hair and everything. But seems like she's more of a free spirit in her design. While the guy is extremely snooty looking, has the hair with the shaved sides and the slicked back on top. Has like um a turtleneck, a black turtleneck sweater with the gray jacket, holding a glass of red wine, all fancy like, and it's like, and he's at least at first, very put off by her obsession. But it like also introduces like other things that like they both share in common, showing that he's not necessarily that snooty, like with him loving Scooby Doo and everything and having the pictures in his wallet. It does show that he does have a fun side to him. There's this one shot, like 30 seconds in, where he's pointing at her and his jaw looks like it unhinges. It is fucking weird, and it's like that creeped me out while I was watching. I didn't say anything, but I was like, what the fuck just happened there? It was like such a weird artistic design. It was just like, what the fuck? Why did his jaw do that? And it doesn't fit like anything else, like in terms of the art style and animation from the rest of it. But it's like great. There's also this shot there where she's like, where it starts talking about her love for Human Centipede, and she like does this almost JoJo pose with and there's the arms that look like they're coming out of her back. It's like the art design in this is so good. It's like that is just so creative and funny, and it shifts from that to him sitting there in like this shocked, cartoony looking face with the just plain white eyes surrounded by like shadow daggers and stuff. And it's like the creativity and the visuals on this are so good, like so good. There's also one thing that's like just the hungry caterpillar or whatever it is with his face, and it's just like, what the fuck? Oh, hold on. There's a part where he's had his phone here. I want to see this. Okay, he types help me. Gets responded to with get bent. Pick me up. I'm scared, please. Bobby, it looks like this says I'm so high right now. I'm about to get my ass eaten. Hold on. And not in the good way. I'm begging you. And then someone else says, LOL, no. It's like he's texting people to get help. Also, I love that. I'm about to get my ass eaten and not in the good way is hilarious. And after that, it just pans to her, like, kneeling on the ground, pointing at her ass. And it's just like, oh my god. There is so much good visual stuff here. There's also a shot of like him, like almost in a Yamcha death pose, inside of her mouth with his pants pulled down. Not his underwear. His underwear are still on, have like the little hearts on them, but his pants are pulled down. It's like, what the fuck? Also, a human centipede made of olives and toothpicks is really creative. But yeah, it's really interesting that it ends up like he ends up just giving into it and just like kind of letting it happen and just deciding to be a freak with her. It's just like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them, I guess. I guess that's applicable there. Um, what a wild video. I just, I was not expecting that going into this, but hey, gave me plenty to talk about, so thank you for donating for this Venom. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. If you have anything to add, anything to um, mention about this, or if you've seen some, what are your favorite TikToks that you've seen that use this format in them? Let me know in the comments. For now, though, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.